Hey guys, Colorado Dave here, part two. I'm putting this knife back together here. This is going to be my small Sebenza 31. I just showed off the stamp for the S45 VN on the actual blade here, and I cleaned up the knife a little bit. And then in addition to that, I think you guys can see that there. Then in addition to that, I went ahead and took the lanyard pin and I decided to put a little blue Loctite in there on the one side on the what am I trying to say, on the lock bar side, and I went ahead and glued that in there so that it won't rattle, because I don't want the lanyard in there, but I don't want it rattling either. So I had taken the pin out in the past and I decided to put it back in and glue it in place. So now we're gonna go ahead and just put the knife back together. Since I had it apart, I figured I'd show it to you guys. The only other thing I did was I took my washers here and I took a real fine lapping film, and what I did was I just took my washers and I rubbed them on there on both sides lightly, just to kind of what am I trying to say, sand out my washers a little bit to make them a little bit smoother. And again, I did it with a really fine grit, so I didn't mess with scraping down the washer too much. But again, I just wanted to get some of that grit that was on the actual washer from the factory off. And so I got that done as well. So I feel pretty good about it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try to put the knife together here. I'm not great at this, but we're gonna get through it here together. Basically what I've done here is you got your back spacer in place. You got your pin on the other side. This is your lanyard pin that's glued into place. This is your stop pin in place. And this is your lock bar side. And here you can see your ceramic ball there, which is the ceramic ball for the interface of the locking system. Here you have your two screws for the face when I turn my face up. That's going to actually close this down. So that's going to be step one. So let's go ahead and do that and put that back together first. So we'll start by taking the scale like so. And looks like we did pretty good. So we got that all lined up. Now what we're going to want to do is take our screws and screw them back into place. I do have my Chris Reeve wrench, but this is the same bit, so sometimes it's easier just to use this. But it spins on both sides, so what you do need to do is use this wrench sometimes so that it keeps it from spinning, because these do not lock into place into the actual titanium frame. So because of that, it can be a little trickier. So if you just go ahead and hold it like that, though, you're fine, and it's not going anywhere. Ta-da. So that's that. Now let's go ahead and do the front one. Again, I'm not using any Loctite on any of this stuff at this point. Potentially, I'm going to have to use a little Loctite on this screw that I'm putting in now for the stop pin, because with the 31, sometimes there is an issue with that loosening up. On my large one, I've had to do that in the past. I am not doing that right now because I just got it back from the factory and I'm kind of testing it a little bit to see if it'll stay tight without me putting any Loctite in there. So that screws went ahead and put that in there tight as well. So there's your frame. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the blade back inside the frame. So to do that, all we need to do is basically grease this thing up. So let's take our collar here, or bushing, or whatever you call it. And I think collar is the right term, but I'm not positive on that. We're going to put just a little bit of lube in there. And we will put that in there like so. This is the show side. So the show side gets the larger bush, or the larger washer is on the show side. So we'll put a little bit of grease on this. Nothing crazy. Take our large washer, put that into place like so. Now we will turn that over. Do the same thing on the other side. Now we'll take our small washer, put that down on this side. Now those washers will hold right into place because of that collar that's in there. sticks out just a little bit. So you just got to catch the groove of that to get these washers to kind of go into the right place. I'm telling you that, and this one's not cooperating. There we go. Okay. So you're gonna get a little lube on your hands, but that's all good. I try to wipe it off before I put this part in because I don't want to get it all over my micarta. You're basically just gonna take this and slide it in as such. And in sliding it in, I am pulling on the lock bar to try to get that in just the right spot. And then that should slide right in. So if you saw how that just slid right through, now you have one screw left, which is right here. Again, I'm not using any Loctite on this. With my large one, at one point I had to put Loctite on both my pivot screw and on my stop pin screw. Otherwise they would come loose. I have not had that issue with this knife since I got it back from the shop. This knife has worked wonderfully. So we will go ahead and do that though. And we should be ready to go. Now I got it too tight. See how tight that is? It's too tight. I'm gonna have to loosen that up just a little bit. Just ever so slightly. That should be fine. Ta-da. There you go. They are back together. So guys, that is how you put a Sebenza back together, 31. I believe that's right. If I'm wrong on that, guys, tell me. I think I'm sitting here shaking my camera with my leg, but hopefully you got something out of that. I had already cleaned up all the parts with some rubbing alcohol. You saw me just grease it up and put it back together. The biggest thing I was trying to accomplish today was I really wanted to get those lanyard pins back in, and I wanted it in a way to where it hit it to where it just looked like it was solid metal. You don't see the hole, which is what I was going for. And I think I got that done, accomplished. And there is zero rattle because of the fact that I glued them in. So that's something I wanted to accomplish today. I'm glad I got it done. I wanted you guys to see it along the way. Hopefully you guys got something out of that, and you can see that with your Sebenzas, if you're having an issue with the lanyard pin, shake it. That's really the easiest solution, is go ahead and just glue it down. But I actually got that from Archman. Archman I like to watch as well. He's a big Sebenza guy out of Colorado. So Archman, thank you for that tip. I think you said you super glued yours, but I went ahead and tried blue Loctite first, just for the fact that if I made a mistake, it wouldn't be quite as hard to correct. But thanks for the heads up on the idea of gluing that in, because I think it looks a lot better. No question about it. So anyway, that's all I got today, guys. Signing off. Colorado Dave here. Talk to you later.